Everyone, it's Colin, and I'm coming at you today with a brand new video from the Cinema Closet. So this is part of our Game Changer series, where each week I talk about a different movie and how it changed the filmmaking game. So this week we're taking it back again to 1902 with a little film called A Trip to the Moon. And if you've never heard of The Trip to the Moon, then you're probably not alone, but I guarantee you've at least seen part of it. So there's a shot, which you're going to see right here, that has the moon with a bullet sticking out of its eye. And that picture has been everywhere because it's such a crazy shot for a film in 1902. So it's a film by the French filmmaker Georges Méliès. Sorry, I probably butchered that pronunciation. And it features him in an ensemble cast that play a group of scientists that decide to take a trip to the moon. So what's interesting about this movie is not only the set design and the effects, but the ensemble cast, which is pretty impressive, especially for a movie with no dialogue, and the scientific foresight that the film has to later advancements that we would see in the 1960s. So in 1902, we didn't even really have flight capabilities yet. The world was grounded, humanity was stuck on the ground. But Georges Méliès, in his imagination, decided to go to the moon. So these scientists, they board a rocket ship. It is basically a bullet that gets fired out of a long-barreled cannon, which I find really interesting, seeing as how we eventually get to the moon on similar principles. And while we're not shooting people out of massive cannons, we did end up using rocket fuel and propulsion and some of the same systems and components to send people to the moon. So there's a lot of foresight in science fiction eventually becoming science fact. And so they get there and they realize that there are people on the moon, and not only there are people on the moon, but for some reason the Earth people can kill them pretty easily. So it gets a little jab at the dangers of imperialism coming out of 1902. Imperialist countries were kind of at their peak, getting ready to boil over into World War I. And as you know, that was kind of a blemish in American history and the history of the world over. And so that's really setting the stage for this movie, and what sets the movie apart, what makes it memorable, and why 116 years later someone is still talking about it, is because of the effects of the day. You gotta remember, there was no voice in movies. There wasn't even really an industry yet, and so this movie makes the most of what it has and has these beautiful sets, using big matte paintings and using kind of puppetry and wooden sets to really bring this far-fetched concept to life, because there were no computers, there was no real film animation. This movie really pushed the boundaries of what could be caught on camera other than just everyday life. And so for that reason, I think it's a game changer, because it really did change the game. In fact, it created the game in terms of effects. So movies like Star Wars, like Infinity War is coming out this month, all of these movies exist because this small 12-minute film from 1902 was willing to push the envelope and really test what a camera could do. So that's it for Game Changers today. I'm working through some of the smaller films, the first video and this video, but next week we're doing a longer film, so be on the lookout for that, and feel free to like, comment, or subscribe.